You just never fail with fuck with my head to start a show with these music intros.
It's going to be like this for a while. That's from my mashup catalog, which currently has over 2,500 songs in
Oh man, my brain melts, but in a good way. In
it.
a good way. In a very good way. We in this bitch, part B of episode 103 of White Heat, presented by the fact that I don't know. I'm cold right now. Maybe it has to do with the fact that I'm wearing shorts and t-shirt, and it's 35 degrees outside, and I'm technically in a room directly attached to a deck. I don't fucking know. Whatever. Hi, I'm Brian. That's JJ.
I take it you haven't turned on your heat yet for the season, or just holding off?
Oh,
I was going to say,
we're
you're farther north than me.
yeah, we're those assholes that no. The thing is, I like it cold, but for whatever reason, literally the last 5 minutes, it's just like I don't know. It smacked me in the face for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But anyways, hi, we're here and we're doing business. Um, okay, good. I turned up the volume on my cell phone, so I'm good to go. Um, yeah. So we covered AEW in part A. There is something else that came out for AEW. Um, that has nothing to do with how they're booking Dynamite tonight. Um,
Oh, I've got something on Dynamite. Oh, that's right. I needed to pull up the overlay on the. I needed to download something for the about the ticket sales too.
oh, well,
But yeah,
you do that. I'll run
yeah, yeah,
through
yeah,
New Japan quick. But
yeah.
well, yeah. So something because we're recording this at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, on Wednesday the 22nd. Something literally just happened an hour ago that I didn't even know was fucking happening until right before we started recording. So there's that. Um, um. So just to touch on that before we get into what we were going to discuss today, which is obviously everything not AEW or Ring of Honor related. So AEW decided to just reveal the entire layout of 12 participants for the Continental Classic um, in a YouTube video that I mean, I guess this is what I get for not paying attention to social media close enough today because
I was in the shower.
I had no fucking clue this was happening. But anyways, so they released the full field of 12. And this is what we're looking at. Obviously, two groups of six. We get the groups are blue and gold. Because sure, we can't just call them Group A and Group B.
Nope.
Blue is Brian Danielson, Andrade, Brody King, Claudio Castagnoli, Daniel Garcia,
You
Eddie
called it.
Kingston. Gold, John Moxley, Swerve Strickland, Roosh, Mark Briscoe, Jay Lethal, and Jay White.
Huh.
Um, Rules are simple. 3 points for a win, one for a draw, zero for a loss or a DQ. Everyone is banned from ringside.
Right.
So, like for example, with Jay Lethal, you won't get anyone from the Jarrett family. Moxley or Claudio, you won't get anyone from the BCC. So on and so forth. 20-minute time limit for all matches,
Ugh.
which personally I'm fine with because I don't need these fucking matches going a half hour.
Right.
No,
No,
I just don't need it.
no, it's not the. I'm not debating the length of time. You just know that because there's that, you know, we're gonna get like a bunch of fucking draws in this tournament now.
We'll see.
Because nobody ever fucking goes fucking less than 25 minutes on TV, unless it's a squash, or unless you're a woman.
Well, that being said, that's nice. Um, the Continental Classic starts tonight, and the first 5 matches of the tournament have already been announced. 3 of which will be tonight. 2 more will be on Collision this Saturday. The 3 matches tonight are going to be Roosh versus Jay White, Swerve versus Jay Lethal, John Moxley versus Mark Briscoe. And then Saturday, we'll get Garcia versus Claudio and Eddie Kingston versus Brody King. Those are your first 5 matches, which means who are the 2 that are not booked? Obviously, Danielson. That stands out. Who's the other one that didn't get booked? Andrade?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So the
Danielson,
first 2 guys that got
Andrade.
announced for the tournament are in the first week of the.
Ironically enough, yes.
Yeah.
So that's what we're looking at.
There
That's,
is also this announced for Dynamite tonight.
oh God, I'm scared to look. What is it? Wait, hold on. Rechristen. What
I
is
got
he-
nothing.
Are they gonna bring a fucking like an inflatable pool into the middle of the ring and dunk? I'll baptize you in the name of Christian Cage. The power of Cage compels you. Like, what are we doing? Rechristen? What?
Yeah, there's one I'm trying to pull up right now.
This,
There we are. There we are. Okay, yeah, here.
This shit better be as hokey and upstaged as Christian better make this come off as ridiculous as it can only be with Christian. Otherwise, it's going to come off as stupid and hokey.
1 second here.
There's another one. Oh God.
No, just something that I need to pull up for.
Oh,
I'm just uploading it to the overlays. Because I just had to screen grab it. Where'd you go? There you are. Okay. Yeah. So this is the setup for Dynamite tonight.
they open up the wait.
They have set up for 5,500 and change. They've distributed, which includes the buy one get two frees and comps. They've distributed 4,300. Last time they were there for Dynamite back in June, they drew 6,291. And the Wintrust Arena holds what, like 16, 17,000?
That's what I was about to say. Like, what? Because I'm looking at this graphic and I'm trying to figure out how there's only 5,500 seats.
Because they automatically, it's the same thing they always do, is they cut the arena in half right off the bat.
Right,
then they take out the upper bowl.
But the upper bowl is open from the looks of it.
Yeah, the upper bowl is open. No one's buying the tickets. And the thing is, as we've seen, as I've had people attest to, who I know who have gone to AEW shows, they buy upper bowl tickets on the cheap, and then they get upgraded down to the floor. So the real dumbasses are the ones that pay for the fucking hard cam fucking seats, because you can just buy the cheap seats and get upgraded. Or just walk up to the arena outside and be handed a ticket. Shut up.
By the way, Toni Storm is going to make an acceptance speech for her championship tonight. Because fuck all, right?
Yeah. And this is the other thing I wanted to bring up that WrestleNomics shared.
Mm-hmm.
So the live gate in Seattle for Wrestle Dream came to 533,000 and change. The Collision the night before generated $235,000 in ticket sales, according to Polestar data. Here's the problem, and this is something that WrestleNomics reported on several times for several companies over the past couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
So the average Raw or SmackDown, the cost to produce a single episode is around $1 million. The average cost to produce a pay-per-view is usually 1.3 to 1.75 million for WWE. Mm-hmm. Obviously, AEW doesn't do all the bells and whistles that WWE does, as we can see by their production. Mm-hmm. But so figure, even if you cut that in half, an average episode of Dynamite or Collision costs $500,000 to put on.
Mm-hmm.
And a pay-per-view probably costs around $750 to $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
So judging by that, they keep saying Wrestle Dream was such a great success. The gate was 533,000. You're at a loss right out the bat. Because you only get, and they said this too, like Brandon Thurston has reported on this numerous times. As far as pay-per-view goes, usually the company only gets a 25 to 30% cut of every pay-per-view sold. So $60 pay-per-view, they're getting
$12 to $18.
Right. So you say you sell 100,000 pay-per-views, that's $180,000. Add that to 533,000, that's nowhere near $1 million. So they're losing money hand over fist. But no one wants to admit it. Everyone's like, "No, that's really good." No, it's not. No, it's not. And then I actually saw some dumbass say, "Well, no, they make it up with merch and concessions." They don't make anything off the concessions. The venue does. And merch, they hardly have any merch there. You got to go onto the fucking online shop to buy shitty ass t-shirts that fucking once you wash them once fall apart.
I can't believe somebody really said concessions. That makes me laugh.
Yeah, it was hilarious. You know, it was the typical Cope Harder E-drone bullshit.
Fucking lovely.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, tonight should be interesting, especially considering they usually have like 5 or 6 matches pre-announced, and the only ones they have announced are the 3 Continental Classic matches.
Well, let me take a
Unless
quick
I missed
look here.
something.
Let me take a quick look. Let's take a quick look here to see what they've announced. Rush versus Jay White, Swerve versus Jay Lethal, Moxley versus Briscoe. Man, the whole thing is flooded with the short clip videos of the announcements of the oh, so apparently apparently today was known as Continental Classic Day, according to Tony, and he said that he was announcing this like 2 days. They tweeted. No, that was 4 hours ago. They said today. Let's see here. Continental Classic Selection Special. They tweeted last night for the first time. Tomorrow, Thanksgiving Eve. All 12 fighters will be announced, interviews, and more. Later that night, celebrate Thanksgiving Eve with the Continental Classic. Shut the fuck up. All in. Continental Classic. Yeah, it doesn't look like they have anything else announced for Dynamite tonight besides the rechristening and the 3 Continental Classic matches.
Whatever. There's only so much. There's only so much
fuckery.
What was I gonna say? So
much fuckery.
Fallout. That's the fuck word I was looking for. There's only so much fallout you can have from a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I don't know how you plan on filling just 2 out. Obviously, they'll have something else, but like
they'll start pushing the MGF Joe thing. They might dip back into the devil shit. Of course, I still think they're going to drag that out until the end of December.
Probably.
I'm sure they're gonna start with the rechristening. I'm sure Copeland's gonna come out and be like, "I want the TNT belt," because reasons.
Or he's gonna come out and be like, "Can I adopt them?"
Why is Brody King in the fucking Continental Classic and not Malachi Black?
You're asking the wrong person, motherfucker.
Like, I like Brody, but Brody's always been the heavy for a stable. Like that's what Brody's been.
Listen, you know what he's gonna do? He's gonna fill the role that they do every year for Bad Luck Fale in the New Japan Cup. He's just the token big guy to fill, you know?
Yeah.
Or Archer. Archer kind of does the same thing for them too. He's just the token big guy to fill out the group and be like, "Hey, we got a big guy in the group."
Right. That's like literally what they did for this is they announced people that like haven't been used as squash fodder lately. Because so many others have. But yeah, yeah, I mean, and so yeah, they'll probably do that. I mean, now we'll see what happens with the, you know, if we start setting up for the tag titles situation between the Jets and Starks and Bill. So apparently when the thing that happened yesterday with the Bucks saying they're canceling BTE, apparently the Bucks said that they are going on hiatus for a while. We'll see about that. I feel like their hiatus will be a grand total of 3 weeks tops. And apparently now Brandon Cutler is going to be their mouthpiece.
Brandon Cutler.
Mm-hmm. Because he doesn't have to hold the camera anymore. So now he can talk for them.
It doesn't sound like a good idea.
No, it doesn't. At all.
Where is what I'm looking for? New Japan's website is fucking weird, man.
Yeah.
Whatever. All right. I'm going to try to make heads or tails of this.
Okay.
So Friday night is going to be the second night of B block matches in the World Tag League. So far, in the first B block matches, we had Hikuleo and El Phantasmo beat Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi. Tai Chi and Yuya Uemura beat Yota Tsuji and Zandakan Jr. That was the Z, by the way. Zandakan Jr. from CMLL. So remember how we had a random Z as a partner?
So they just didn't remember. They didn't finish filling out his name on the bracket.
No. I guess it's a new thing where they have like a mystery partner for a team at every tag in each tag league this year.
Okay.
Atlantis Jr. and Soberano Jr. beat Yuji Nagata and Minoru Suzuki, and Lance Archer and Alex Zane beat Bad Luck Fale and Jack Bonza. So those are how the first matches went. But I'm trying to figure out what the fuck happened in A Block's second night. Oh, this might help me. Except it's not going to give me the table, is it? You motherfuckers. Or is it? Nope, it's not going to help me. Oh, that's not even the right one. Jesus Christ. Oh, that's because night 2 of A Block is going to be tomorrow night, Thanksgiving night for us. But obviously, Japanese don't celebrate Thanksgiving, so why the fuck would they care? At least I don't think they do. Okay, so I don't have the table in front of me because apparently they got lazy and didn't put the table at the top of this article previewing this night for the A Block. But I can at least give you records for each team going into the match.
Okay.
Okay. So TMDK, Shane Haste and Mikey Nichols will take on Evil and Yujiro Takahashi. They're both 1-0. Ren Narita and Shota Umino, they're 1-0, taking on Gabe Kidd and Alex Coughlin, who are 0-1. Hanari and Great Okan are 0-1. They'll take on Kiyomaya and Rohei Oya, who's 1-0. Toru Yano and Ishii will take on the Gates of Agony. They're both 0-1. And then Yuya Uemura. Oh, wait. Never mind. And that's it. Because then it shows all the 6-man and 8-man tags they're going to have for the rest of the card. So, yeah, that's that. Now I've finally gotten straightened out. There we go. All right. And then obviously Impact. Oh, not obviously, but last week Impact we covered. Because by the time we recorded, Impact already going on the air, so we covered that. And guess what? Tomorrow night is. It's basically a best of show.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nothing. So
I mean, it's Thanksgiving. Viewership would be down anyway. So why are you gonna,
So I've got I mean, I'll double check and make sure there hasn't been any news that I'm not aware of. Nope, I'm good. So yeah. Um, if you're an Impact fan, I got nothing for you. I'm sorry. Like, enjoy their Thanksgiving best of special tomorrow night. I don't know what to tell you.
All right. Can we talk about the NWA?
Oh God, what did I miss about the NWA?
Oh, a few things.
All right, go ahead.
Well, so because I alluded to it yesterday that I said I would save it for today just because we were dividing up the show. So this happened in the past 24 hours. But there's a backstory, but I will show you.
I did see that image circulating.
That is on the CW app. That is the most recent 8 episodes of Power that have already been on YouTube for the past 3 months. So it's nothing new. And it's on the app. Now people are like, "Oh, they saved the deal, blah 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 blah." No. Here's the story. Because luckily I caught I think it was last week, might be 2 weeks ago now. Bischoff's other podcast, Strictly Business, the one that he doesn't do with Conrad, so it's tolerable to listen to. They had Mike Johnson from BW Insider on. I love Mike. Mike's a great guy. And Mike's one of the only reliable wrestling journalists where, like, if he reports something, you know it's legit. He doesn't just go off rumors. Like, and he does, like, and he says, like, there is belief. He'll say, like, there's belief among some people, but this is not 100% positive. You know, he makes sure to dot his I's and cross all his T's before he ever puts up an article. And Mike Johnson has contacts all over the media industry besides wrestling because he worked in TV for years. So they were talking about the whole NWA and the CW thing and all that stuff. So it's still up in the air whether the cocaine spot was really a death knell for them because they only sold 212 pay-per-views. Less people bought the pay-per-view than there were people in attendance at the show. That's bad. But Mike Johnson spelled out everything and how, remember I mentioned Brandon Houseman and how he reported bullshit. So Mike Johnson had the real scoop on things. Apparently, there was never a deal for NWA Power to be on the CW. What happened was, remember they mentioned a reality-based show based on the NWA? What happened was Billy Corgan had shot that already and it was in the can. It was a fucking vanity project. And he went to the CW with it to have them put it up on the CW, and they were going to buy it super cheap because they're like, "Oh, sure, it's a reality show and it's going to cost us virtually nothing." Sure. And Corgan just went out and he was just like, "Oh yeah, we're in talks with CW, blah, blah." No. They were in talks for a reality show that was already in the can, and there was never any talks for Power to be on the CW. Follow up with, now that you see the episodes of Power on the app, it's because Corgan is paying to have them there. So they put them on YouTube for free. They've been on YouTube for 8 weeks. Now Corgan is paying the CW to put Power on the app to further string along this narrative that they're getting a network deal. They're not. The CW is a free app. It's like, because like that's what happened. Like a lot of independent filmmakers I know now that have problems with distribution. They get their shit put on Tubi because Tubi's free and they will publish your shit. So Billy Corgan paid to put Power on there. But people are like, "Oh my God, this is good." Yeah, no, not so much. And also, where is it? I wanted to bring this up. This was a quote that was taken about a week ago, but it was in between shows for us. So this is in an interview with Effie from GCW. And apparently Corgan had approached Effie about Effie coming to work for the NWA at one point. And Effie said, "You know what I told Billy Corgan? I said, go fuck yourself. They asked me to come work NWA. They begged. They had multiple people call me to come work NWA. You know what I said? I'm not helping you. They said Tyrus isn't here anymore. You know what I said? You leaned into what Tyrus was doing, which was hate speech and Fox News bullshit for such a long period that it fucked you. And now you want Effie to come in and fix things and go get a PR job? No, I'm not helping you. I don't need you, and I'm not helping your company look competent. Then what happens? You blow your TV deal with the CW because, oh, the GCW guys are all smoking crack. Is that the rumor going around? No, the NWA guys are doing fake cocaine live on the air and getting pulled off of Fight TV and losing their TV deals. Oh my God, you want Effie to come in? All right, well, guess what? It's as easy as giving me $50 million, you stupid dumbass piece of shit. Go be a rat in a cage, dumbass Billy Corgan, you fucking loser. So yeah.
I do remember seeing that clip floating around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Effie don't give a fuck.
Can you blame him?
No, not at all. I mean, and think about it. Like, Billy Corgan's all like, we're going to make the NWA it used to be. And like, I have no qualms with Effie or whatever, but how does old school territory wrestling, where does Bussy fit into that? Like, it's a modern gimmick for a company that's trying to not be modern. That's what I'm getting at. It's not speaking any ill of Effie or the gimmick or whatever. I'm just saying, if you're going to try to portray this is one thing, you can't take modern elements and put them in because it doesn't work. It does not work. And yeah, and also everyone going on the whole thing where everyone's like, oh yeah, see, they got the CW, they're going to be all right. Then how come Billy Corgan announced massive budget cuts and layoffs? Yeah.
Man is fucking himself left and right. What can I say?
Mm-hmm. Smashing Pumpkins are going on tour as a supporting act to try to get more money so Billy Corgan can keep this fucking thing running. It's ridiculous.
It's something. I think ridiculous might be giving it too much credit, honestly. I don't know. It's just I've run out of words to explain the horrible business that he does. Like, yeah. And the thing is, Effie hit the nail on the head. He put all his eggs into. It seems like, you know what it is? He's hot potatoing what he puts his eggs into what basket.
Mm-hmm.
Because he initially had them all in the Cardona basket, and then he decided, fuck this, let me go with Tyrus because extreme conservatism is like the hot thing these days.
Because Tyrus was a pundit on a fucking Fox News show that got high ratings.
I know.
You know, and like let's call it what it is. Tyrus was, you know, that portion of Fox News' token black guy. That's what it was.
But now here's the problem. Now he's putting the eggs into the basket of a guy that has no heat in any direction whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, EC3 was kind of a thing 5 years ago. And kind of a thing is even stretching it.
Right. Like he quote unquote reinvented himself in TNA. And then when he left and came back to NXT, he got that initial pop just because they were in Florida.
Right.
But after that, it fizzled like right away. But they're like, we already signed this fucking kid. Like, let's try to do something. And EC3 doesn't know how to get over with large crowds. He doesn't.
You know what Billy
Dude's got a massive cocaine problem.
You know what Billy Corgan reminds me of, actually?
What's that?
This might be a stretch of an analogy to give, but I'm going to fucking give it anyways. All the wrestlers that keep coming in trying to find a glimmer of their past greatness, and I'll use that word in quotes.
Mm-hmm.
They're like the they're like the stock salesman from Wolf of Wall Street. Billy Corgan is the sucker on the other end of the line buying the penny stocks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Billy can't get enough. Yeah, give me 25,000 shares of that, 10,000 shares of that. Lo and behold, that penny stock ain't going anywhere but in the shitter.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what it is. The NWA is not a brand that is gonna. There's no niche. There's no niche to it. There's no glitz. There's no glamour to it. There's nothing. He has done nothing to elevate that brand
Right.
in the last 24 months.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at least they had a glimmer of hope back at the original All In show they had pre AEW existence.
Yeah.
With Cody and Aldis and that whole thing going on.
Right.
There at least seemed to be a glimmer of hope from a marketing perspective and a public awareness perspective at that point. But then it seemed like the moment Corgan started to sour on the idea of Aldis continuing as his champ and decided to say fuck it and make it a hot potato title, which is kind of what it's become at this point,
Mm-hmm.
all the credibility just went out the window. And then he just keeps making mistake after mistake after mistake, whether it be from a business perspective, a creative perspective, a can't shut the fuck up in podcast interviews perspective,
Mm-hmm.
like everything. Just it seems like once a month we get an open mouth insert foot moment for the NWA.
Yep. I saw the photos of they did a show in Florida over the weekend. Our old buddy Mike Orlando was on it. And his wife. They both got booked on it.
Allie, yep.
But like freaking who was it? Brian Idol made a post and he was like, "Where NWA is going strong. We drew 1,000 people here," and like, then there were still empty sections. Like that. I'm sorry, but there's indies around here that draw 1,000.
You know what the problem is? Their inherent problem. They had something. They had something going in the pandemic. The business model they constructed in the pandemic was fine. Of going back to stage wrestling, and their problem became when they started going on the road again.
Mm-hmm.
They got. It's kind of like a fractionized model of what went wrong with TNA and Impact when they got too big for their own britches and started going to cities they had no business going to.
Right.
It's like a percentage of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at least Impact was okay for a while there with certain houses they were drawing. Like,
but then they were going to places where they would like do a baseball field and draw 25 people.
Right. Like, let me break this down geographically, actually. Best way for me to bring this up.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, hold on. Can you do me a quick favor?
Yes.
Can you find me? You don't have to download the picture and then upload and everything. If you just pull up like a screenshot to present on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Can you pull up a map of the United States real quick?
Sure.
I'll give you a few seconds. I know I sprung this on you last second. But since you are the now lead presenter and executive producer of White Heat, my random ideas and thoughts are now sprung onto you whenever they're necessary. In the meantime, I'm gonna tell you this right now.
Can't use that.
Me, I'm gonna tell you right now. My favorite part of Thanksgiving. I know this is totally off topic, but this is my way of killing time while JJ finds a map for me. Me and sweet potatoes, or like peas and carrots, man. I I grew up on regular mashed potatoes, but when I got introduced to sweet potatoes like 15 years ago, oh, mm, it's like a pillow that you can just rest your head up against. Mm. Especially if you bake it in a dish, and you toast marshmallows on top. Oh,
Yeah, that's the diabetes sweet potatoes. That's what Mike Milano used to make every Thanksgiving. It was
oh,
like, I make good sweet potatoes that will not kill you. Mike used to be like, yep, you need the maple syrup and the molasses and the marshmallow. I'm
yes.
like,
Oh, the maple syrup.
Southern style.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes. Oh God.
Mike Milano contributed way too much to my diabetes.
Then the other thing, I hated cranberry sauce growing up as a kid because the only shit that my family used to have
Shaped like a
was
can.
the can shit. Yes, pop open the ocean spray, dump it on. There you go. I came across some. I now have a member in my family that does homemade cranberry sauce,
Yep.
like citrus built into it.
Worlds apart. Yep.
Oh, completely night and day.
Uh-huh.
Oh God. Oh, love that. Oh, those are my two favorite things to look forward to Thanksgiving. Anyways,
One of my favorite things.
yours, yes.
And I miss because we haven't done it in years, just because since COVID and everything, and like my issues, like not being able to travel far, because we used to go to the wife's parents every Thanksgiving. And they would host like basically like an entire chunk of the family. Her father took their dining room table and he built extra leaves and extensions for it. So they have a great room above the garage.
Mhm.
The table was almost that entire room. It sat 25. And the thing was, because like you're cooking for so many people, but there's so much left. Well, because they would roast one turkey in the oven. They would do one turkey in the oven next door because they own a 2-family house and the family rented the other half. And her brother would deep fry a turkey outside, so there would be 3 turkeys. But the best part was afterwards, because they want to make sure that there's no leftovers. So what they would do is the uncles would get in the kitchen and strip the carcasses and start making turkey broth to make turkey soup for people to take home. But with everything that's left, the turkey, the mashed potatoes, and blah, 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 everything, what they would do is they would go to the market basket and they would get pie shells and the Pillsbury roll over top. And what happens is you would make basically like a leftovers meat pie. You would do the turkey, the mashed potatoes, the blah, blah, blah. You do however you want it. And you always do like a little cranberry sauce, and then you put the thing over it. You take it home and freeze it. And then you take it out, you put it in the oven for an hour, and it's amazingness.
It's a Thanksgiving pot pie.
Yep. And there's no leftovers. You don't have to worry about cleanup.
That's fucking genius.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to tell somebody about that. That's fucking genius.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I have a hot take that I guess in the last 5 years has become not so much of a hot take anymore based on what I hear and see people saying and doing.
Mhm.
I could take it or leave it.
Mm.
Like, meh. I don't know. Just the big difference is the way it's prepared.
Mm-hmm.
You get somebody who knows what they're doing versus somebody who just
Right.
is just winging it and not giving a fuck. Really,
Yeah.
the big difference. Anyways, do you have my map, sir?
Sure do.
All right. We're gonna call this a geography lesson, folks. All right. So here is the innate problem with the NWA.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And this is why the quote-unquote territory system he's trying to establish is not going to work. You see, everything that Billy is marketing, everything that he is booking with his creative license is all geared towards that southeastern belt.
Mm-hmm.
It's all geared towards the mentalities of basically, honestly, go from the Mason-Dixon line and chop it off basically where Arkansas meets Oklahoma, and then go straight down.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, the Carolinas, Tennessee, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida. That's really the main booking focus creatively of NWA.
Well, the power tapings I thought they were in Kentucky.
Had they been in Kentucky?
I think so.
Okay, so we'll throw Kentucky in because it's a French state anyway. It's right on the border.
Right.
So, so you have that, and that model had been successful. But then this moron decided, let's try to run in Illinois. Let's try to run in Chicagoland.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that shit didn't fucking work.
Let's run in St. Louis.
Which is sad because you can take the map down if you want. St. Louis was, let me think.
It was a big area for NWA back in the original territory.
Stan Muchnick, yes.
Yeah.
Now, meh.
St. Louis is a dying city.
Right. It's
since Budweiser moved out.
Yeah. Billy's trying to expand his business model, but he's not doing it very intelligently. Is basically where I'm at.
Right.
It's the long and short of what I'm trying to explain. So
that's a bingo.
Billy, just stay in the Southeast. Just stay in the Southeast Conference football states.
And even consolidate what you're doing there, because obviously, like, I had this debate with a guy who's just like, oh, the NWA is a huge following in the South. I'm like, then how come the fucking NWA pay-per-view in Louisiana, the one where Tyrus was first crown champion, how come they only drew like 600 people?
Right.
He's like, well, look at who was in the main event. I'm like, but you said the NWA was a draw. It shouldn't matter who's in the main event. It should matter the overall product.
They should just go back to doing everything at, like, what was wrong with doing everything at the soundstage that they had in, like, what was it? Was it Atlanta area or was it down in Florida originally?
For Power?
Mm-hmm.
No, Power was always based out of, like, Kentucky, Tennessee, because that's why they had Cornette, because they didn't have to travel far.
Okay. So what's the problem with doing everything, including your pay-per-views, from there, and then doing your annual anniversary pay-per-view somewhere within that, and just, like, rotate certain cities every
so the problem with doing a pay-per-view on a soundstage is it looks cheap. So even if you're going to do pay-per-views, I would suggest finding like at least an armory nearby, so it looks like a bigger venue. And the problem is that when they tape Power, they've taped 6 weeks of it at a time. Like, it's, yeah, and like, I guess I'm in the mood. I tried when Power first came out on YouTube. I watched like 4 or 5 episodes, 4 or 5 weeks in a row, and I just could not get into it. Like, they were trying too hard to look old school, but not being old school. And like, okay, yeah, so you got like the stand up, like where like Lance Russell would be, but you've got guys like Homicide and Colt Cabana there, and like it didn't fit. I had major problems with it. You know, like they had people there that I liked. You know, Kingston was there, Kennedy was Anderson was there. Like, there was some decent shit, like, as far as people, but like there was a disconnect, and I wasn't digging it at all.
Yeah, it's I just don't think it's ever going to work at this point.
Right. Like, Billy Corgan has tainted what was left of the name. And it's, you know, it's like, you know, 75 years in business, and this is what you got to show for it, which that's my go-to argument now. For every time someone brings up AEW versus WWE, like, well, WWE's been around for 50 years. NWA's been around for 75. Shouldn't they be drawing freaking, fucking 50,000 people in a stadium?
I mean, you're not wrong. All right. How would you like to attack WWE? What do you want to start with?
Let's start with SmackDown last week and work our way towards yesterday.
All right. Smack it down on the candy ass. All right, so so Damage Control comes out. Road Dogg is on commentary. Just shoot me in the face.
I mean, it wasn't that bad, but I was just like, why is Road Dogg on commentary?
I couldn't think of anybody entertaining.
I guess they're like, we're just taking one of the producers and putting them out here. Like,
so Corey Graves obviously was still on paternity leave, and they
good,
just
stay there.
drew names out of a hat. I don't fucking know. So, am I looking at the right SmackDown? Yeah, okay, all right.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I feel like I looked at this already. So basically, Bayley officially asks Asuka to join
Damage Control.
Damage Control. She's in. Then then Dakota proposes a women's War Games match to Belair, Shotzi, and Charlotte.
Yeah. It's going to be a 4-on-4 because I guess Dakota's still injured.
Yep. So, and then the three baby faces come out and essentially get beat down, and that's that segment.
Right. And so then it becomes the running thing of the entire show if they need to find a partner.
Right. And then after commercial, they show the three babyface girls backstage, and Bianca thinks that Charlotte knows someone that fits the bill to be the fourth member. And then Nick Aldis tells him that he wants to know the fourth member by the end of the night.
Yep.
Then we get a triple threat to determine number one contenders for the Undisputed Tag Titles. Brawling Brutes, Pretty Deadly, and Street Profits. And the Profits stand tall.
Interesting.
Hitting Ridge Holland to become number one contenders.
And because of a flub, and there was a dissension between Butch and Ridge after the match.
Yep.
Which this could be the catalyst to split Pete Dunne off. And like I said, I've marketed your t-shirt for you already. Run with it.
Yes, you have. Then before break, we see Bianca Belair chatting with Mia Yim, but then when we come back from break, and Damage Control is beating the shit out of Mia Yim. So
yep,
that takes care of that candidate.
Yep.
Then we get a debut that nobody really saw coming.
Mm-hmm.
Axiom makes his SmackDown debut.
Yep.
Takes on Dragon Lee.
They put on a nice lucha clinic, and the crowd was into it.
Yep.
They got a couple of This Is Awesome chants.
Dragon Lee eventually goes over, getting the pinfall on Axiom.
Which again, I ask why. Axiom was in NXT for a cup of coffee, like from being a kid to putting on the mask. He's been there for maybe a year, and he's on SmackDown. But we're still holding Carmelo Hayes back.
No comment. I got nothing. Then we get Santos coming out, talking shit, basically. Then they show Zelina watching backstage with Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde. Zelina can't take much more and comes down, basically talking shit to Santos. Smacks the shit out of him.
Yep. I need to point out something about this whole segment.
What's up?
Santos comes out, cuts a heel promo. Very good heel promo, by the way. Of course, I got kind of offended because Ray just had knee surgery. He's like, I hope you get an infection and then they amputate your leg. I'm like, hey, that shit ain't funny, motherfucker. But Santos proved something.
What's that?
Santos proved that Dom Mysterio is not getting natural heat.
Okay.
Because all you need to do is attack Rey Mysterio to get that level of boos from the crowd. Because Santos is getting the same level of boos that they've been giving Dominic. It's not the fact that Dom's a good heel. It's the fact that Dom attacked Rey Mysterio.
We'll have to see how things play out the next few weeks. I'm not supporting Dom by saying that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Let's just see how the different crowds are week to week. Eventually, Wild and Cruz come down. And of course, let's have the one guy beat down the two guys.
Yep.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Then Carlito comes out. Escobar runs away. Sure. I have a theory. I have a working theory here.
Okay.
I think you're going to see a couple more NXT call-ups.
Yeah.
I think you know where I'm going. You can go ahead and guess who I think they are, but go ahead.
Are they related to this program?
Yes. One should be very obvious. Somebody that used to be with Santos in NXT.
What, you mean Garza and Carrillo?
That's not how I was referring to it the last hint, but yes, those are two of the three I was thinking of. Oh, come on.
Who am I missing that's Lucha that it's still down there?
Not a male. You're thinking too hard.
Oh, oh God, not Carmen Sandiego. No, that bitch ain't coming back to TV. They got her playing interpreter for all the chicks that don't speak English still down there. Like, no.
I'm not saying I like it.
Neither does Trips. That's why he sent her ass back down to NXT. Or no, she never made it up when they called everyone else up. That was it.
Correct.
Because they knew. Then
we get Grayson Waller beating Cameron Grimes with Theory on commentary during the match.
Like, I understand you got to have people take a fall for stuff, but goddamn, Cameron Grimes, they took too long to introduce him between the time he left NXT and the time he debuted on SmackDown. And has he gotten a single win yet?
I don't think so.
Like, bro, the fuck? No. Especially with Grayson fucking Waller. Stop fucking backing this guy.
Then we get same story, second verse. We're about to go to break. We see Bianca talking to Zelina. Then we come back from break. Damage Control is beating up Zelina Vega.
Yep.
So strike 2 for Bianca.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get Heyman in the ring with Jimmy and Solo cutting promo on Cena.
Heyman's always great on the mic, but that was some good shit. Like, I think I messaged you right. I was like, dude, just fucking find this on YouTube and watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you?
They never posted more than clips of it. They never posted the whole thing.
Well, yeah, but the thing was, like, all you needed was the clip because, like, the promo wasn't that long.
Like, literally, I know. It literally, like, all I saw was a 10-second clip of it at one point.
Oh, they usually do it a little more than that.
No, they never put the whole thing up. I checked TikTok, I checked Twitter, I checked YouTube, nothing. YouTube has nothing for it at all.
You have to go to the WWN Fox channel. I'm going there right now. Just
okay.
Keep talking. I'm looking.
LA Knight.
Yeah. Okay, don't keep talking.
What?
Fucking
What's
hell.
so? What?
Well, I just said, okay, don't keep talking because you said LA Knight.
Well, I mean, he comes out. I mean, you know what happens. He basically just interrupts him and talks his shit and usual shit. Um, basically says he's not done with the bloodline, and he's going to start with Jimmy Uso to get back to Roman.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I think I found it. Yeah, so I've got the tail end of it here. Here, let me
all right.
No, dude, pause. I'm gonna share screen.
Pause. Dramatic pause.
Share screen.
I'm trying to remember what that's from. Pause.
All right, here we go. Okay, good. There we are. All right.
Survey says
John Cena will never appear in a WWE ring ever again. And that's all thanks to Solo. And I see the little kid in the front row crying. I can't believe it. John Cena says it's so. Well, John Cena can't say it's so because John Cena can barely speak. And that's all thanks to Solo. And even if John Cena could speak right now, would he? John Cena has such hustle, loyalty, respect, and love, and affirmation and admiration for each and every single one of you. John Cena doesn't have the heart to say goodbye to the C Nation or the WWE Universe. So I get to say goodbye to John Cena, and I get to say goodbye to you for John Cena. So, on behalf of your tribal chief, Roman Reigns, on behalf of Jimmy Uso, on behalf of Solo, John Cena, goodbye.
Here comes the best part.
Three,
2, 1.
And now you know how serious this is. Because that was John's cue. Someone comes out here and says, you'll never see him again if you do. Solo whip his ass. And then, and John Cena slides into the ring and he hits the 5 moves of doom on Jimmy and the 5 moves of doom on Solo and the 5 moves of doom on me. And we pump out of the ring and everybody goes crazy. And you'll never experience that again. And it's all because of Solo.
fucking A, Paul. Fucking A, man.
I told you, fucking gold.
What else is new? So we come back from commercial. Bianca, Charlotte, and Shotzi talking. They say Flair needs to make the call to find a partner. Then we get to main event of the night. Yeah, main event of the night. LA Knight ends up beating Jimmy Uso. After the match, Solo comes down the ramp. And Knight tries to goad him in, but then Jimmy blindsides him. Then Solo gets in, hits the Samoan spike.
Mm-hmm.
Then Cody comes out and makes the save.
Yep. Which kind of didn't fit.
Well, considering what happened Monday night, yes, you're correct. It didn't fucking make sense at all.
Right.
And actually, no, fuck that. It totally didn't make sense because Bloodline isn't even in the fucking War Games match.
Right.
Fucking Cody.
It was,
Anyways.
yeah, like it. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it. Then Shotzi and Bianca come up to Charlotte backstage, who doesn't know if the person she called will get there on time. That was such a stupid thing to whatever.
Yeah, I know.
So they come back from commercial. Aldis approaches Cody, and Cody basically goes, I know, I'm leaving. I know. Like, fucking. I made it even more of a throwaway for no fucking reason.
Right. I think it was just to tease, but
for what? For what?
Because Judgment Day added a fifth person to their team on Monday. So it was to tease, oh, well, maybe tit for tat. But nah.
If that was supposed to be a diversion tactic, it was a shitty one.
Mm-hmm.
Then Bianca, Shotzi, Charlotte, they all make their individual entrances and come out. They accept the challenge for War Games against Damage Control. Then Damage Control comes out. They always talk about how they took out everyone Bianca approached. You don't have any friends, that kind of shit. And then when Damage Control gets on the apron, acts like they're going to get in the ring. From the Timekeeper's area, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
Becky slides into the ring. Yay.
I mean,
I didn't see that coming at all.
Right. Storyline line that makes so much sense. That makes the most sense because Becky was the first target of Damage Control.
Damage Control.
But still, like this whole women's War Games match just feels thrown together.
Yay.
Like here we are, we added an extra person to Damage Control. We added 2 extra people to Damage Control in the past week. And then, oh yeah, War Games match. Like, you're better than this, Trips.
Yay. Cool. Don't get me wrong. I think they'll have a fine match, but
yeah.
I saw that coming.
Right.
Yay.
Right.
Anyways,
of course, I laughed at all the idiots online. They're like, the 4th member is going to be Jade Cargill. No, it's not.
No, the funny part is, because I'll be honest, I missed a good chunk of SmackDown Live last Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly didn't have much of a clue what was going on. Obviously, since I missed most of it, I didn't have a clue what was going on. But I turned it on early enough to see the part where Bianca and Shotzi approached Charlotte about making the phone call. And that's what I assumed what was going on. I'm like, we all know what the fucking phone call is going to be.
Yep.
I know it, and I missed half the fucking show. Because if one isn't employed, we know who the other is.
Right.
If the other one, in case you're fucking stupid, is Sasha.
Sasha, right.
So, if not one, call the other. Fucking people. Anyways, so yeah, that was SmackDown. Yay. This week, I believe I can find a preview of SmackDown. Fuck off. All right, we got to preview Survivor Series before we get out of here. I almost forgot about that.
Uh-huh.
SmackDown. Donde está? There you are.
Black Friday SmackDown.
Street Profits get their title shot.
Yep.
Against Finn and Damian.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's really anything else that's been pre-announced for this show.
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, because maybe if I go to SmackDown sneak peek, it's just a video. That doesn't fucking help me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I really have seen that's been pre-announced for SmackDown.
Yeah.
But obviously we still have another 2 days for that. And is that going to be in Boston too, by the way?
Yeah.
I think.
Or not Boston, Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago is what I meant. Boston was last year for Survivor Series.
Yes.
Yeah, they're in Chicago Friday and Saturday. That's right. And then they'll be in Nashville for Raw on Monday. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Shall we move on to Raw?
Yes.
I only missed the last 40 minutes of the show, so I have most of this already written down. We open with Drew in the ring. By the way, there was all this hubbub all day Monday about this new Raw theme song, and then we don't get it at all. We get a dry open.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Maybe they haven't finished off they haven't finished like
Oh, the
signing all the
production.
stuff for the exactly.
Anyways,
Because they said I remember they said they're getting a new one and it could be heard as early as tonight. But yeah.
So after they show a video recapping why Drew why from the week before, Drew's in the ring, cuts a promo, Jey Uso interrupts. Then Judgment Day appears, having Drew's back as Jey looks like he wants to get in the ring. Then Seth, Sammy, and Cody arrive. Then Adam Pearce, like fucking Batman, shows up out of nowhere. He says, "We aren't doing this again. If anyone throws a first punch, they cost their team the advantage on Saturday."
Which, I mean, at least they're doing the right thing with the authority and the security and keeping a pull apart, like the way it's supposed to look.
And then Pierce announced two things. One, each team had to select a member of their team to compete in the advantage match that night, and he wanted to know who it was for each team by the end of the hour. And then he said by the end of the night, he wanted to know who the fifth member of the babyface team was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. Then we come back from break and get Judgment Day again. Sans Drew. Priest thinks he should be in the advantage match. Rhea says to wait for Drew so they can discuss it together. And that buries that for the time being.
Did you notice Rhea's little thingy?
Did it say R&D again?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rhea and Dom.
But is it?
Who the fuck? Rhea and Drew? For what?
Because I'm thinking there's going to be some dissension in the War Games match.
I'll let you have that thought. Then our first match tonight, Nia Jax beats Raquel Rodriguez. I mean, you get two females just beating the shit out of each other, basically. Like,
yeah, I mean, Nia going over didn't make Raquel look bad, so, and I'm sure they can revisit it.
And Raquel had her strong moments, so it definitely didn't hurt.
Yeah.
Then we go back to Judgment Day backstage, and now Drew is there. Drew says he has no problem with Priest being the team leader, but he wants to be in the advantage match for them tonight, and Priest reluctantly agrees. Then, my first problem of the night.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have the men fight for the advantage, but we're leaving the women's advantage to a fucking fan vote.
With potato chips.
Because Ruffles.
Because sponsorship.
Not even good potato chips. Fucking Ruffles.
I know.
Not Pringles, not Lay's.
We're in Ut's house, motherfucker.
Fucking Ruffles.
Motherfucker. Yeah.
Who likes
represent, motherfucker.
Best sour cream and onion chips in the business, right there in his hand.
No, dude, these.
Oh, those are the pickle ones?
The fried pickle ones? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh.
I guess sour cream and onion because they're basically the same color bag.
Like that, yeah. Like the Utz is like they're in my top three when I can't like the top two are Humpty Dumpty all dressed, which are hard to get in the States usually, and then hers ketchup chips.
Getting all Canadian on me, motherfucker.
Well, I usually get them up in New Hampshire when I'm visiting the wife's parents.
Oh, touché.
So fucking good.
Then we get the Babyface War Games team backstage. Jay pleads with Seth to let him take care of Drew. Seth agrees. And then Cody says he made a call to an old friend for a potential fifth member.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to openly admit, I mean, obviously all the rumors are out there. Mm-hmm. But if you isolate the rumors away from everything, would you have really had a fucking clue who he was talking about if there weren't the rumors?
It was just a tease to get people to watch to the end of the program, and it was also to shut up the IWC in the end.
Then we get Becky beating Xia Li.
Which, even though NXT was pre-taped, you've got Xia losing going into a title shot.
Yeah.
I would have done a schmaz with a DQ ending
Yeah.
and then pick this up again in a couple of weeks.
Right. So then after the match, Damage Control is coming down the stairs from the concourse. They approach the barricade, and then as they're about to come through, Charlotte, Shotzi, and Bianca jump Damage Control from behind, send them over the barricade into the ringside area, and we got an 8-woman brawl that breaks out. And eventually, I don't know if Charlotte got a broken nose or something, but you didn't see this?
No.
Yeah, she got popped by someone because she was bleeding at the end of the segment.
Damn, we got a flashback to freaking
Becky. Yeah.
Becky. Full circle.
Except it's not Raw versus SmackDown this time. It's just
Yeah.
heels. Fucking weird. Then we get pardon me, I'm just putting some away. Kaiser and Vinci backstage. Kaiser tells Vinci to stay backstage while he handles Gargano tonight. But then Johnny beats Kaiser.
And everyone was like, "Oh, Johnny got the jobber entrance." Yeah, guess what?
Well, here's the part I missed though. Did Vinci actually get involved in the match, or did he just come down to ringside? Because I missed that. That was so quick. I was looking away.
No, he just came down. He didn't get involved. He just came down,
Okay.
and it distracted Kaiser.
Gotcha. Then we get a pre-tape from earlier in the day with Chelsea and Piper talking to Pierce, and then a bunch of random-ass women's tag teams interrupted, and Pierce just said, "Fuck this! 4-way to determine the number of contenders tonight. Goodbye."
Yep.
The teams were Natty and Tegan, Caden and Katana, Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae, Maxine Dupree, and Ivy Nile.
Having a few too many 4-ways for contenderships lately, Trips. Just saying.
Then we get Rhea and Dom walking into the locker room for Judgment Day, and Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark are sitting there waiting for them. Well, waiting for Rhea, not waiting for Dom, really. Yeah, Zoe's saying the same shit she's been saying, that Rhea's too focused on other things and should be focused on her, blah, blah, blah. Rhea could win with her eyes closed. Natty and Tegan end up winning the 4-way, so now they're number 1 contenders for Chelsea and Piper. Then we get Imperium backstage. Gunther expresses disappointment in Kaiser and applauds Vinci's efforts, tells him to figure it out. Sure. Then, here we go again. Pierce is backstage. He crosses paths with like 6 tag teams, I think it was. Just chilling backstage in a fucking mob.
In catering.
And he ends up booking Tag Team Turmoil for next week to determine number 1 contenders for the unified tag titles. And then he randomly comes across Nick Aldis, and they said they need to chat. Like,
about people showing up on the show they don't belong on.
Okay. Then we get the Miz and Gunther segment in the ring,
which was solid promo from Gunther and solid comeback stuff from Miz. Like, they really took it to a serious level, and it worked.
Yeah. I didn't think it was bad. I didn't think it was great. I thought it was all right. I didn't think it was anything crazy good per se.
But you really got Miz to come across as the sympathetic babyface.
Right.
And the underneath guy.
Right. Then we get Seth and Jay backstage. Basically, Seth giving Jay Uso a pep talk. Then we get a pre-tape of Ivar and Valhalla challenging Bronson Reed for next week.
I don't understand why we're doing this heel shit.
Meat slapping meat.
Unless they're like, you know something, Ivar's getting like, because they're like Hanson so over with that moonsault that they're just gonna flip him babyface until fucking Rowe can come back in 8-9 months.
Moonsault, flip him babyface.
Boy. Oi.
Anyways, now that I've completely disappointed JJ,
this motherfucker was dad jokes.
Then basically. Shinsuke beats Chad Gable after countering an ankle lock into Kinshasa.
Which, once again, even though it was pre-tape, Gable was getting a title shot on NXT the next night. Why would you book this match?
Right, Heritage Cup. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then Drew and Judgment Day have an exchange before Drew goes towards the ring. Back from commercial, Bronson Reed cuts a promo accepting Ivar's challenge. And the babyface team for War Games is chatting backstage. They get a text from their fifth man saying he's in. Well, Cody gets a text, not the whole group.
Right.
War Games advantage match. Drew wins, hitting the Future Shock on Jay.
It was nice that the Future Shock's being used as a finish again.
Gives Judgment Day the advantage for War Games. Then, of course, after the match is brawling on the floor, because why the fuck not? Judgment Day runs down to beat down Jay. Then Cody, Sammy, and Seth come down with chairs, chase off Judgment Day. Then, this was my other problem with the show. This was my other problem with the show. I'm not saying Randy had to be in the arena. Would have been nice, yes. Why are we letting Cody do the reveal in this manner?
So, this is my thought on it. Because Cody gave the hints but never said the name, they let the crowd chant the name. Since Cody's the one that texted him, like that's the story reason why he would be able to say it. And honestly, like I said, this was just it's basically so going into the pay-per-view, you know who's coming back. So that way it's like, that makes it a must, that makes it destination TV for people, and also quells all the bullshit with everything regarding fucking Punk.
I'm just not a fan of the Cody reveal. That's all.
Me neither, but I mean, who else would have done the reveal in that?
I honestly think you could have done the same thing if you had Randy do a pre-tape for like 30 seconds and put it on the screen.
You could have, but you really want to hold off on seeing him there. It's kind of like they want to give it the air of like when Triple H came back from the quad injury. They want to give it that kind of allure. They want to see how big of a pop he can get. Which, whatever, I haven't been a fan of Randy Orton for many, many years, but you can't deny that he has longevity.
Here's the difference, though. Hunter had only been in the company 5 or 6 years at that point, and only 2 years maybe as a top player. So there were questions about whether or not he'd get that kind of reception. You're only going to get it from Randy because he's been in the fucking company for 2 decades.
True.
Like, how is he not going to get the pop you're expecting?
Yeah, true.
I don't know. I'm just whatever. Just minor details, I guess.
Yeah. And I mean, Ben, of course, there's people on Twitter that are all like, it doesn't matter. The crowd's going to be chanting CM Punk all night. No, they're not.
I'm not.
WWE crowds have not chanted CM Punk since at least a year before he showed up in AEW. That shit died out a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Even when he came back to AEW, WWE crowds moved on. They weren't chanting his name. Like, not even like that used to be one of the filler chants when shit was boring. Hasn't happened. I mean, granted, the shows really haven't been boring for the crowds, so they haven't had a reason to, but Yeah, the crowd has moved on, and there's people trying to say, no, they were chanting CM Punk in Saudi Arabia. No, they weren't.
Mm.
They were not at all.
All right. Shall we go to NXT?
Yeah.
We gotta cover 2 weeks technically, don't we?
Yeah. Because there was 2 weeks that was taped at the same time, and the whole plan was when we were originally going to do this was just run through and do spoilers, but the chips fell where they did. So
You know what? Real quick thing, because I was scrolling through to see if there was any news that we missed, and I honestly don't see anything we've missed.
Yeah.
I
I
gotta bring up a quick sidebar for a second.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know what. I know I was scrolling through and I saw the headline for this again. So, The Rock's production company is currently partnering with Vice. Oh, you have the overlay for this?
Yes, I do.
So, $7 is partnering with Vice Studios to produce a docuseries investigating the mysterious demise of World Championship Wrestling. Now, the demise of WCW has been done upside down, inside out with books, documentaries, all kinds of shit. So here lies my question.
Uh-huh.
What the fuck is so goddamn mysterious about the demise of WCW at this point?
So I think it's just the fact that, so for people like us, we know about the books. The casual fan doesn't really. Plus, as it was, there was one book that was really, really spot on, and there was another book that came out which was a whole bunch of horse shit. And people like Bischoff called out, they're like, we don't even know who the fuck this guy is. And it was just full of nonsense. So obviously they're going to go more off of the good book that was written. I forget the name of the author. It comes off the top of my head.
I might have the good book. Go ahead. Keep going. Give me a sec.
No problem. But yeah, so the general wrestling fan does not always have the knowledge of books that come out that are not produced by WWE. Also, it's just a matter of Vice draws in people who may not always watch the WWE product because they watch stuff like Dark Side of the Ring and Tales from the Territories. So they know that there is a market out there for people who want to see documentary-ish content done by a company other than WWE, because as we all know, WWE kind of likes to gloss over stuff when they're doing certain documentaries. They'll just completely nix out entire sections, and that's not to say that the guys who do Dark Side don't do the same thing. There's a lot of stuff that got glossed over in a bunch of episodes that really they needed more context. But so if they're doing a docu-series, that means it's going to be more than 45 minutes. Even if they do a 4-parter. And I think what they really want to do is get into the details of the financials and where the money went, because everyone always likes to just put the blame on Eric Bischoff for overspending, and then that was it. There was a lot more to it than that. It was a matter of AOL not wanting wrestling once the merger went through. And the fact is, they were mad because WCW was making money for a couple of years there. But then they started losing money, and they're like, this is our chance to get rid of it. There was a lot of behind the scenes, skullfuckery as far as being able to make sure that it goes away. So it's not to say, who's not going to cover the financial stuff. And also, there's stuff that there's pieces that have been here and there that people may know, but it's a matter of if they have consumed everything having to deal with it. A lot of people don't realize, and this is because it was only mentioned briefly, I think in one of the old Legends roundtables from the 2009. I remember Kevin Nash talking about how him and Hall had favored nations contracts, which For those who are not familiar with Hollywood and contracts and all that stuff, favored nations is basically a term where if you are doing something and you are given something and someone comes in after you, if they are given something better than you, they have to match it with you. Big example that is easy to give is the Star Trek movies. Shatner and Nimoy ended up having a favored nations deal. So what happened was Nimoy got to direct a movie, and because of that, they had to let Shatner direct a movie. So what happened was Hall and Nash were there, and every time they brought in someone else, if they brought them in at more money than they gave Hall and Nash, they had to give Hall and Nash a pay bump. And so as it goes along, and then when the contract's renegotiated, it's like here they are because they're throwing money at people to try to stay on top. They throw money at fucking Ultimate Warrior to come in. Nash and Hall get a pay bump. Time for Hogan to renegotiate his contract. Nash and Hall get a pay bump. So, and I know that there were more than just the two of them that had favored nations clauses. So that's another financial that a lot of people don't realize came into play. So I think they're going to really delve into a lot more of that as far as the numbers goes for the demise of this.
Which one was the bullshit one? Because I can't fucking find it, but I know I have one of the books.
I'm going to have to Google this real quick.
Was the bullshit one by Brian Alvarez, or was that the good one?
No, that was the bullshit one.
Okay.
Hold on. WCW book. The good book is by Guy Evans. It's called Nitro, The Incredible Rise and Inevitable Collapse of WCW.
Gotcha.
Or inevitable collapse of Ted Turner's WCW. Yeah, it came out in 2018. You can actually get it. Ooh, damn.
Expensive.
Because it's out of print. You can get the audiobook version for only $6, but the paperback is going for $40 on Amazon. Oh, well, let's see. Used 16. I bet I can find it for cheaper. Let me go to my little I'm going to see if I can order this. But yeah, that's the one that Guy Evans wrote is the good one. I've got a site here that I'm able to find good shit on. Damn.
What?
Even like I've got a site that I go that like checks like used bookshops all over the country and like is able to find like they'll have stuff listed from like Goodwills and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this shit, because it's out of print, like is still go like on a thrift site is still hold on, let me eliminate that. Maybe that's why it's looking for that. Yeah, the cheapest I see it here for is $24. Like, and it's going like used copies are selling for like 60.
Damn.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna find the audiobook because that's only $6.
All right. So we're gonna get into NXT and then we'll preview Survivor Series in a few.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so NXT from the 14th. So here's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yes.
So they open with the title change.
Yeah.
With Stax and Tony D'Angelo regaining the titles from Chase U.
Mm-hmm.
What is this fucking scandal they're trying to build up here?
I don't know what it is because it was like 2 weeks after Chase U won the fucking belts and like a telegram got delivered to Chase U and Andre Chase opens it and is like, oh no. And then all of a sudden there's like, there's scandal and blah, blah, blah. And like, no one really knows what it is. Like, but unless I completely missed that they outright said it in like one sentence, like I'm still trying to figure that shit out. However, this is what really pissed me off about last week's NXT. So they're trying to play this off of so the Chase U students are disappointed in Andre Chase because of the scandal and yada yada.
Protesting, yeah. They walked out.
Right. Well, you've got them sitting there in the crowd reading newspapers, and then it shows them walking out. And you're showing like that's a stunt that you can pull at an indie show.
Why are they reading newspapers during a match?
Exactly. You are on national television, Sean. Once again, you do shit like that. You are showing to the audience at home, whether it's part of story or not, you're showing that people in the crowd don't give a fuck about what's going on by showing them reading newspapers and then getting up and walking out.
Yeah.
That's a bad message to send. That is a little fucking shitty booking.
Shitty booking. Just trying to get. Then we get Metaphor. I'm just trying to skip over all the backstage bullshit that doesn't matter.
Right.
Then we had Metaphor in the ring for Supernova Sessions. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yep, and this is what basically said. It was a whole bunch of hubbub, blah blah blah, and it's basically set up Dar versus.
Because they had
Gable for
Alpha
the
Academy
Heritage
as their
Cup.
guests, and Gable eventually said, "I'm coming for the Heritage Cup."
Yep.
Then what do we? No, this is fucking stupid. Lash Legend beats Roxanne Perez in an Iron Survivor qualifier.
Yep, they took the big clumsy bitch and put her over the girl who is training Jade Cargill right now. Evidently, so she can have more time to train Jade, but still, you're going to take the big clumsy bitch who hurts people.
Right. Then they show a bunch of different tag teams arguing backstage, essentially. Yeah, sure, whatever.
So we're going to have a battle royal. I don't
know.
know. I just said that. I don't think that's what they announced.
Then there's some kind of tea ceremony involving Lyra and Xia Li.
Yeah, it was set up like cinematic, yada yada. You know, the Warriors tea ceremony.
One of those things. Okay.
Yeah, and like I mean, the production value was okay, but it just seemed kind of meh.
Well, they set it up with Kiana James costing Roxanne that match, by the way.
Yeah, so they can do Roxanne and Kiana. But meanwhile, you're gonna take big clumsy bitch and put her in the big clusterfuck match on the pay-per-view.
We get Braun Breaker interview. Nobody cares.
Yep.
Dijak interrupts him. Great. Trick Williams beats Joe Coffey in an Iron Survivor qualifying match.
Ugh. Sean has turned Gallus into worthlessness.
And they have
it's really pissing me off.
Oh, okay. I see what this is. Nothing really important. Brawling Brutes be out the mud.
They had to carry them. That was a bad match.
Then we get a Gacy promo from the roof. The fucking roof.
Yeah, and it was another typical John Gacy promo, and then at the end he throws the camera off the roof, but makes it look like he throws the cameraman off the roof.
Sure. Gigi Dolan beats Ariana Grace.
Mm-hmm.
And they show a video package of Von Wagner and Robert Stone. Eddie Thorpe gets interviewed. Wow, I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, he basically said like he took time off to recenter after his whole feud with Dijak.
And then he gets interrupted by Drew Gulak and that whole fucking yeah. Yep. And then Baron Corbin beats Wes Lee after Dom Mysterio pushes Baron out of the way of a move by Wesley.
Yep.
Then Ilya attacks Baron after the match, but then Baron hits End of Days. And
stands over Ilya with the belt.
Then Ilya gives him then Ilya announces he's going to defend the title against Baron Corbin at Deadline.
Yep. And they got smart. They made Ilya grow the facial hair back.
Yeah. All right. As for last night's episode, Heritage Cup kicked off the show. Noam Dar gets the first fall of the match in the second round. Gable ties it up in the 5th round with Chaos Theory.
And then in the 6th round, the end of the 6th round, Dar was saved by the bell. He tapped out as the bell was ringing.
Right.
And at this point, just get rid of the fucking Heritage Cup. I say it every week, but I'm going to keep saying it because it has no place. Get rid of it.
Then just a bunch of backstage bullshit, and then as Valkyria is making her entrance for their match, Xia Li attacks her. So yeah,
but we still have the match.
Right, we'll get to that later. And we get Angel and Humberto beating Blade and Enofe.
Poor Blade and Enofe. I swear, like, they did something to piss off Sean that Sean's taken too fucking hard. Like, they don't deserve this shit.
Then we get Josh Briggs winning an Iron Survivor qualifier over Carmelo Hayes because of Alexis King run-in.
Yep, because those were JBL's picks.
Alexis King and Carmelo Hayes.
We knew that that's what that was leading to from a couple of weeks ago.
Right. I'm intrigued.
Right, which like, and that's fine. You can do that, but at the same time, you're running. You just had Melo lose the title. You had him lose the rematch, and now you had him lose to Josh Briggs. Which, granted, yeah, you put them together, they can have a good match in their sleep because they train together. And Melo even alluded to that on his Twitter, and he posted an old picture of him and Briggs working an old Chaotic show. But you're taking Briggs, who hasn't been on TV in a match in weeks. More than weeks, like, and who's been known as a tag team guy,
right?
And now all of a sudden you're just going to start pushing him singles again, and you're going to put him over the former fucking champ. Like, okay, yeah, it was a tainted victory, but still, it's just a matter of how Melo's being booked now, and I hate it. Like, okay, yeah, we'll get get him and Pillman at Deadline, and it'll be a good match. And maybe we'll get a feud out of that where it'll continue on for a bit. But then where do you go? Let him go to the fucking main roster.
Then we get Von Wagner and Robert Stone spending Thanksgiving together.
Yay.
Wesley comes out. Then Dom Mysterio comes out. And Dom basically says, you want a shot at this again, you got to go through 3 other former North American champions to get to him. Yeah, and that match should eventually get announced later on. I'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
Then they have a video package about the Chase U scandal, which I missed. They're going to address that next week. Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay. Then Briggs. Then there's basically Briggs has an exchange with Tiffany Stratton before Brooks and Fallon Henley come in. I don't know. Are they trying to? So they basically trying to. Are they trying to split off Josh and? Oh God Almighty!
You know, like they almost did a few months ago, but it was all a ruse
because of the Kiana stuff, and now they might be doing it with Tiffany instead of.
Yeah.
Sure. Fucking whatever.
Because Sean sucks at booking.
Then Blair Davenport beats Thea Hale in an Iron Survivor qualifier. I mean, okay, sure.
I trust Blair in that clusterfuck match more than Thea at this point, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so fine.
Then we get a video package from Baron Corbin. Eddie Thorpe beats Charlie Dempsey. After the match, Drew Gulak and Miles Bourne come in to beat down Thorpe. They were showing a dinner with.
Yeah,
why Why is everything about fucking like? Why is everything got to be surrounded by a dinner with Tony and fucking Stacks?
Because Sean doesn't understand what actual Italian family culture is. He knows what he's seen in fucking Goodfellas.
They do more than eat.
I know. This is why I hate that fucking gimmick so much. The guy that does it isn't that great of a worker to begin with. The whole fucking gimmick is a slap in the fucking face. It is a fucking indie gimmick. It does not belong on national television.
But it doesn't help that they keep getting booked into the same fucking pre-tape setup every fucking time.
Right. And it's always
They don't
the
have to be
same
eating
fucking
in every
restaurant.
fucking pre-tape.
Right.
Do other shit.
Dude, as it was the first part of that with the pre-tape, that literally showed them going in through the kitchen. Like, we get it, Sean. You watched Goodfellas. Fuck off.
Eventually, Garza and Carrillo jump them. Whatever. Ariana Grace cuts a promo and then gets attacked by Carmen Petrovic. Why are they pushing that as a rivalry? I thought Carmen. I don't fucking remember.
Because they're the two newer ones, and so instead of having them fucking job to people with experience, we're just going to have them work each other to death.
But I thought Carmen, because I'm assuming this goes back to the breakout tournament. Did those two even cross paths at all?
I don't think so. But they've been doing they basically took everyone who didn't win that tournament and have had them grouped in these fucking vignettes in the back where they're all it's like the Greenhorn locker room and they're all bickering with each other.
Whatever. Main event, Lyra Valkyria retains over Xia Li. She's still NXT Women's Champion. And yeah, that's it.
That's it.
The four-way booked for next week for the number one contenders spot at the North American title. Gargano, Grimes, Bronson Reed, and Wesley.
Oi.
Anything about that match sounds good except Bronson Reed.
Uh-huh.
I guess you need a big guy, so fuck all, right?
Well, it's because look at who's been North American champion, and that's all they have left in the company.
Could have brought Ricochet down. Ricochet was North American champion.
I don't even remember that. I remember him showing up when they first introduced the title, but I remember that's when Adam Cole won it.
I just want to make sure I'm correct, but I'm 99% sure.
But you also need that they've already got 3 baby faces in that match. You can't do a 4-way baby face.
Yeah, Ricochet was the one that took it off Cole.
Oh, okay.
And then he lost it to Gargano.
Okay. All right.
It could have had Priest do the one-off.
Yeah, right.
I'm just saying. Shit, you know what you could have done? You could have done? Crazy idea. But no, Dom's the champ, so I don't know if that really makes sense. Well, unless you just don't have him involved in the decision. Solo Sikoa?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Just saying. Otherwise, you're left with a list, a list that reads Isaiah Swerve Scott.
Nope.
Leon Ruff.
Nope.
Keith Lee.
Nope.
Roderick Strong.
Nope.
Velveteen Dream.
He's been he's been
that would
active
be-
on his he's been active on his social media lately again.
Velveteen Dream.
I'm telling you, like, if WWE's PR team can find a way to just because he was exonerated of everything, but no one seems to realize that.
Mm-hmm.
If the PR team could find a way to capitalize on that and make a redemption story out of him, he is still very young. And he might be able to, do something. It sucks that people believe everything they fucking read on Twitter. And then, it's one of those things where it's like when the scandal happened, it's front page. When the guy's exonerated, it's on page 7.
Y'all thought I was doing cocaine and making peephole cameras. I wasn't doing that at all.
Right. It was fucking EC3 was the one making that shit up.
EC3 was the one doing the coke.
Right. But like I honestly think if they can figure out a way to do it, he could have a redemption arc.
Agreed. Real quick, a reminder: SmackDown from Chicago this Friday. FS1.
Yep.
Not on Fox.
Yep.
Do not go to the Fox main channel. Go to Fox Sports 1 for SmackDown this Friday.
Unless you're using the Fox app, and then it'll automatically take you to that.
Right.
Yeah. Did you see how they opened up more seats for SmackDown and Survivor Series last minute?
Yes, they announced that on Raw.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
See, they have to open up more seats, and they keep selling out.
And they actually announced that they opened up more seats.
Exactly.
Before we get into Survivor Series related stuff to close the show, Maddie Rankowski, former NWA Women's Tag Champ, now at the PC. How do we feel about that?
Good on her. She got away from the toxicity that is the NWA. It'd be nice if Camille. It'd be nice if Camille followed suit.
By the way, how is it news that she's going to be that her contract expires at the end of the year? Didn't we already fucking know that?
Yeah.
But now all of a sudden it's big news this week. Apparently, bitch was announcing her contract expires 2 months ago.
Slow news week, dude.
Must be Jesus Christ. Like she was openly saying it in interviews before she dropped the belt.
Yep.
People are just fucking stupid, man. They're just fucking stupid. All right. Survivor Series. There's 5 matches booked, one of which I didn't know had actually been booked yet, by the way.
Okay.
So obviously we have the 2 War Games matches. The women's match, Damage Control minus Dakota Kai against Bianca, Charlotte, Shotzi, Becky.
I'm pretty sure that's going to open the show.
Men's match, the Judgment Day and Drew McIntyre against Cody, Seth, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, Randy Orton.
Pretty sure that's going to close the show. Women's
World Title match, Rhea defending against Zoe Stark. I'm going to say that's the match before the Men's War Games match.
Yep.
Intercontinental title, Gunther defending against The Miz.
I think that's going to be right before Rhea's match.
And this is a match I didn't know had been booked, but apparently it got booked during SmackDown last week.
Oh, Santos and Carlito?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. I think you might see, well, I don't know. Maybe not, because those War Games matches can be pretty long. That might be it, honestly.
Yeah.
They might throw on a pre-show match at the last minute, but
Right.
yeah, I don't see anything else getting added to the main card just because they want to flesh out what they've got.
My thoughts.
Because that men's War Games match is going to take almost an hour.
I'm going to throw out my guesses real quick, and then you can chime in with where you disagree.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say both singles champions retain.
Yeah.
Santos beats Carlito.
Yeah.
I don't think the war within begins yet. I think Damage Control stays united and wins.
Yeah.
And I think kind of going with what you said earlier, but not necessarily in the vein of Rhea being in the middle of it. I just think there's some kind of disagreement between Priest and McIntyre, and they end up losing the match to the other guys.
Yeah. Last year, the Bloodline stood tall at the end of the show, so you can't have the big heel stable going over again this year. I honestly think it's going to be JD or Dom that takes the pin.
And then the next line on Raw, Randy Orton RKO's Jey Uso.
See, I'm not buying that. Everyone's like, oh, because they took that one still frame of Jay in the corner, like Jay doesn't look happy that Randy's here. It's a random one-off shot, and Jay was out of breath because he just had a match.
It wasn't that he didn't look happy. He looked scared out of his fucking mind. The still they took from him.
Like, you really think they're gonna do babyface turns on Jey Uso when they just did that with Drew last week? Yeah,
I know. Oh,
But I mean, it'll be a
Man.
short and sweet Survivor Series. I mean, not short, but I mean, still, it'll flow nicely. And there's no room on that card anywhere for there to be a fucking surprise Punk appearance. Right?
And I don't
Yeah.
think there's any room in that card for a shitty match.
Yeah, everything will be solid.
Like, I mean, Carlito's a vet, Santos is a vet. They should work well together. War Games is War Games. It's hard to fuck that up. Plus, pretty much everyone in that women's War Games match has already been in one to begin with. At least I think they have. Io was in one. Asuka was in one. I think everyone's been in one. Was Kyrie ever in a War Games match?
In NXT, I think.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So they've all been in one. Men, obviously, the men will be fine. The IC title match, I'm going to go on a limb here.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's hard to top anything that involves extreme rules like you'll have inside War Games. I think Miz and Gunther have potential to be a match, like a dark horse match of the night candidate.
Absolutely. I think Miz is going to surprise people, and he's going to remind people why he's been there for so long.
Right. And then Rhea, she'll carry Zoe. That'll be fine. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
Real quick before we get out of here, and I know I'm putting you on the spot with this one. I was scrounging through my brain the last couple nights
Mm-hmm.
and trying to think of favorite Survivor Series moments, just randomly.
Mm-hmm.
I'll throw some at you. You tell me if you think of something that I didn't come across here.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 10 random ones to throw out there. You can tell me if I miss anything. Now, the first one's a personal one for me because I loved the crowd during this match. It might not have been the smoothest match, but Sid beating Shawn Michaels at the Garden in '96.
Oh, yeah. When he attacked Lothario and all that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Anything that involves Hogan losing is fine by me. So Taker winning the title in '91 was cool by me. Bret Austin won.
Yeah. Everyone always talks about Bret Austin at Mania 13, but Bret Austin won at Survivor Series.
That was the technical classic that led to the submission match.
Yep.
The debut of the Elimination Chamber in, what was that, 02?
Yes.
Yeah, 02. Which was also Shawn winning the world title that night. I'm always going to have a soft spot for that Raw, SmackDown, NXT version of Survivor Series.
Yeah. The night that could have made Keith Lee if he had just listened afterwards.
Yeah. Obviously, that winner take all. Oh, the storyline was shit, but the actual match at Survivor Series 2001 with WWF against the Alliance, that was good.
Yeah.
Aside from Shane McMahon being in it, but that's whatever. Again, as a Brett stan growing up, Brett Diesel in '95.
See, I hated that match so much.
Really?
Because it was babyface versus babyface, but Brett just worked so dirty during that match.
Well, yeah.
Fucking tying him up with a cable and shit. And I was just like,
Yeah.
I get that it's a no DQ, but he's not being a babyface.
Fair.
And I was a big Kevin Nash fan at the time. So
Taker's debut.
which, by the way, today's the anniversary of that.
There's always a way.
It's the 33 years, 33 years, and that was in
1990. That wasn't Boston, was it?
Nope. Hartford, Connecticut.
Oh, right.
Yeah, there were 2 debuts that night. Both remembered, one for a good reason, one for a bad reason.
Oh, was the other one the fucking gobbledygooker? Was that the same
Yep.
show?
Yep.
That's right. Another Taker one I have here is the Hell in a Cell match with Taker and Batista.
Mm-hmm.
When Edge returned and cost Taker the match.
Yep.
Then the last one I have here, again, not exactly a match worth remembering, but it's really for the historical importance that it led to down the road. The Hart family against Shawn Michaels and the Knights.
Yep.
Which was supposed to be Jerry Lawler and the Knights, but Jerry
Lawler had the scandal. Yep.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I forgot.
Didn't
Sheamus cash in on Roman?
Did he? I think so. Maybe.
Like,
yeah.
oh no, it was like.
I thought that was the Night of Champions.
I thought that was a Survivor Series.
Oh, maybe it is.
I thought that was like 2015 or some shit.
Maybe.
It was right after Sheamus had come back and had that stupid looking.
Didn't the Shield debut at a Survivor Series?
Yes.
Yeah, there's what. Yeah.
Yes, that was. Oh God. Whatever year they had Punk versus fucking Ryback. I think it was a triple threat. Wasn't it Punk, Ryback, and somebody else?
No, it was just Punk and Ryback.
Oh, was just Punk and Ryback?
Yeah.
No, Cena was in it. 2012.
Oh, okay.
It was a
My
triple
bad.
threat.
That's right. No DQ. That's right. My bad.
And I was right. 2015, Roman beats Ambrose.
Okay. Yeah.
For the vacant World Heavyweight title, and then Sheamus cashed in.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, because Roman was beat to hell in that match, and then Sheamus came out because he still had the stupid. I think he had just come off the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie because he had the stupid fucking like the
when he played Bebop. Yep.
Yeah, and then he had
Yeah.
Brock and Goldberg. I forgot about that.
That was it was funny because back then, Carol would, she still does it sometimes, but she puts up the match the graphic of all the matches and she circles who we're picks for. And I remember, she's like, now everyone play along. So I just took that graphic and I literally, because it was like 6 matches and I didn't circle anyone, I just wrote captions for each. And for the 2 traditional Survivor Series matches, I just wrote teammates turn on each other. And then for Goldberg Brock, I just wrote suck. And when that match went 1.5 minutes, I laughed my motherfucking ass off. I was sitting there at Shell's dying on the floor. I was like, that was terrible.
You're horrible. You're horrible. Cena and Rock against Miz and R-Truth. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
What else did I miss here? I think one of the funnier moments that's happened at Survivor Series was who was the? Hold on, I'm trying to find the exact team that it was. Hang on. Where is? See if I can find it. Oh, obviously the debut of Sting at the end of the Team Cena Team Authority match in 2014. I mean, maybe not for you, but it's a moment.
Right. I do remember the emotional investment in, I think it was the 93 Survivor Series, the All-Americans and the Foreign Fanatics.
Right, with Yoko and Luger and the
right, just because the whole build up to it, where they took Tatanka out of it, and then they took Carl Ouellet out of it, and they added in Crush, and they added in Taker.
Ludwig Borga.
Yeah, like that. Lex Luger was more over in that bit with Borga than he was the entire run against Yoko.
There's a name I hope they never say again. Ludwig Borga.
He dead now.
Is he really?
Yeah, he died a couple of years ago. And apparently he also came out with a whole bunch of shit. And he was holding public office in Europe.
Oh.
And he was like,
awkward.
Yeah. It was bad. Slightly to the right of Attila the Hun. Yeah.
Oh, Taker actually I don't know if it was just recently, but he told the story about, because remember how the go home Raw for that Survivor Series they had the fucking the babyface team in the ring for an interview,
Mhm.
and that's when Taker opened up his trench coat and he had the fucking colonial flag inside.
Mhm.
It was like a whole story. Like Taker was not a fucking fan of that at all.
And
I'm
the thing
assuming it
was,
had something to do with it not fitting his character, which I mean,
well, yeah, because like the whole thing was, it was, I don't know if Tatanka was legit injured or just there was like contract renegotiation or something going on, and that's why Vince yanked him. Because at the time, Tatanka was still red hot. He was on that undefeated streak, and he really had the fucking youths behind him. Like, I don't understand why he never got a run with the IC belt.
he also had a good IC title match that opened WrestleMania 9 that year with
Right,
Shawn
exactly.
Michaels.
And it was a schmaz finish. Every time Tatanka had a title shot, it was a schmaz finish. And the thing was, so they yanked him out, and it was literally just because that was when Vince was convinced that he wanted to that a big money match would be Taker versus Yoko for the title. So he needed to start building it. So he figured Survivor Series is the perfect place. So let's just stick Taker into that spot.
Yeah, because Borga ended his winning streak. Tatanka's this is in
Yeah, and then they had Yoko do
on-
the bonsai drop on his ribs. Yep.
on Superstars in October of '93.
Yep.
And then after the match, Borga and Yokozuna attacked and caused injuries.
Yep.
Causing Tatanka to withdraw from the match. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And then the following week, they had Scott Steiner take out Carl Ouellet.
no, Luger. Luger injured him.
Oh, that's right. Luger did. Yeah.
In a match on Raw on the 15th.
Oh, you know what I was thinking is because the following week on Raw, they had Scott versus Borga.
Oh, okay.
And schmaz, but yeah, and then Luger took out Ouellet. You're right. With the forearm. Yeah.
There's one specific I can't remember what fucking year it was. It wasn't the main event, but I remember the match specifically. I just can't think of. Was it 2011? Maybe. It was one of the like for me. It was a funny moment. Might not have been for anyone else. Remember the fucking the Survivor Series match where DX had a team. The reunited DX, not old.
The one
DX.
when it was DX, the Hardys, and Punk.
Right.
Yeah, that was 08.
Okay, so they opened it. All right, let me pull up what the exact teams were. Hang on here. 08. So that was.
Because I remember we were at Mike Milano's house watching that.
It was. Come on, what the fuck? Oh, it was the opening match of the. Wait, was it? No, because 08 was HBK captained a team against JBL. That was 08.
So then it was either 07.
7 maybe. The same night as Hell in a Cell, maybe. I'll try to find it here because it was a funny moment to me. Nope. 07, Triple H captained a team against Umaga.
So that means it's 09.
09. Nope, because that's the year Cena, Michaels, and Hunter had a triple threat for the WWE title.
So it was 06?
Batista and Booker had a.
Yes, it was 06 because it was when Punk had just debuted on ECW a few months earlier.
Okay.
I was still dating Gretchen. That's right.
Okay. So that was HBK, Triple H, Punk, and the Hardys against Rated RKO, Gregory Helms, Johnny Nitro, and Mike Knox.
Yeah.
And
one of these things is not like the other one.
Fucking the opening of the match is fucking. I think Knox was talking down to Kelly at ringside or something.
Yeah.
Turns, super kick, 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
In the first 10 seconds of the match.
Mm-hmm.
And then fucking HBK goes back to his corner and goes, who was that?
Yep. Who was that guy? I remember that. Yep.
Oh, yeah. That was a funny moment.
That was when we knew Mike Knox was not long for that company.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mike Knox's beard was more over than Mike Knox was.
The chick that was his valet doing strip teases got over more than he did in the company.
Dude, You ever want to hear Shell go off on a rant? Mention Kelly Kelly to her. You're an exhibitionist that you don't know how to undo your fucking bra.
That does sound like something she would yell. Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, it's she gets heated.
All right. Did we miss anything? I didn't see any news come up the last 24 hours.
So there was a couple things I had here that I wanted to cover quick. I had this. This was announced last week, but it goes under our dream matches are not dream matches fucking clause.
Oh, is it what Jey Uso said? Oh,
No.
that. Oh, geez.
Literally being billed as a dream match for
Who the
GCW.
Who the fuck would dream that match?
Exactly.
They're
Nobody-
two completely different guys.
Nobody wants to see Andrade versus Joey Janela. Like nobody. Andrade's gonna have to carry the match. And yeah, no.
Who I want to meet the guy who actually has a dream match that involves Joey Janela.
Right?
Can I meet that guy and punch him in the
Right.
face? No, where I thought you were going was apparently Jey Uso made a comment where if you want to make your dream matches happen, you better bring your ass to WWE. And apparently, guess who spoke up and wasn't very fond of that comment? Fucking Austin Gunn.
Yeah, have fun, kid. Burn that bridge before it's ever built.
Let me see if I can find that quote real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, Austin, yep, here it is, right here. So Jey Uso was on The Ringer, which is a podcast with David Shoemaker and Kazim Fumayati, I think is his last name. Saying how the dream matches involving tag teams need to happen in WWE. So Austin Gunn replied by saying, all right, so the full quote by Jay is, quote, if you all want these dream matches, you're all going to have to bring your ass to WWE, dog, to the top tier. You're all going to have to come. Where we at ain't dropping down. Young Bucks, everybody, like, bring it. Run it. We the ones for a reason, and I mean that. I stand on that. We the best tag team in the world. So fucking Austin Gunn just says, let's run it then. The fact that he even conceptualized, let alone typed out, the idea that him and Colton are on any kind of level close
Couldn't carry
to the
Jay's
Usos,
jockstrap.
get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
First off, half the shit you and Colton do is a direct ripoff.
Oh, Sean.
No, it's a direct ripoff of their father and his old tag partner.
Yeah.
The crotch chops, the 2 words for you, like it's all blatant ripoff of New Age Outlaws.
Right.
Like, I don't even think their fucking tag team finish is creative. I think I was used before by somebody.
The 310 to Yuma, it's basically the Shatter Machine.
Except
except he's doing it
side, yeah.
Yeah, you know what it is? That's the fucking that's the flapjack that the Heavenly Bodies used to do.
Thank you. Dr. Tom, where are you? Where's Jimmy Del Rey? Jimmy!
Jimmy's dead, dude.
Tom! Dr. Tom! That was my way of not saying really about 2 dead guys in the show.
Yeah. Speaking of matches that make no sense, I remember when you sent this to me.
Yeah, Cardona wound up winning that match, by the way. Did you hear how he won that match?
How?
Or see how I won that match?
No, I didn't, because I didn't.
Steph DeLander got in the ring and kissed Mance Warner after flirting with him, thinking that she was madly infatuated with Mance, and then Mance turned into the finish from Matt Cardona.
So Mance is now gone from MLW. Apparently, oh, that's what I wanted. I don't know if you, because I heard it on Cornette, but apparently in the slew of people who've been asking for their releases from MLW, Ares asked for his release and was not granted it.
Did you see what Hammerstone's fucking doing?
Not lately. I know that the video he did got taken down because of lawyers.
What the
and
fuck
that was
is the World Titan Federation?
I think that's bodybuilding.
Call me crazy, but bear with me. I'm just Googling real quick to see if I'm right. Uh, Alex Hammerstone. This is from USA Today. This ain't some bullshit.
Okay.
Alex Hammerstone officially granted his release in joining the World Titan Federation.
Okay. Interesting. Well, at least he was finally granted his release.
They're even using the wow. Have you seen the World Titan Federation's logo, by the way?
I have not heard of it. Why does it look like the old WWF lock logo?
So you remember the remember how in the WWE gym back in the early 90s they used to show once in a while with the fucking neon lights going
Yeah.
across? So think of the initials WTF with that kind of lighting going across the letters.
Jeez.
It's interesting.
Yeah, but yeah, I remember Eras said he signed a contract that was in English and he didn't speak English, and now that's a major problem. And like Eras is one of those guys, and apparently he was presented the deal by CMLL to work American dates associated with them, and he basically got roped into this bullshit, and now like he can't survive because he's getting paid jack shit, and he literally hasn't been used in MLW in 18 months. And I remember I was there for his debut. Him and Aramis put on a fucking amazing fucking lucha clinic. Like me and Shell were just like, these two kids are fucking good. And then they got used like 3 more times and then nothing.
Partial fuck up.
Okay.
Apparently that's a stable within MLW. But he has been granted his release.
Okay.
He's just working this angle to end the year.
Okay.
And then
All
he's
right.
out. So January he's a free agent.
Good.
Free
agent of January, you say?
He's not going to get that big of a. If you
I'm not thinking Rumble.
I'm about to say that not even close to being known well enough to. Be
No,
that.
not at all. But you want someone. You want like, say for the sake of argument, they decide to take the title off of Dragunov to put Dragunov on Raw.
Can we get Hammerstone versus Dijak?
I'd love to see that. I could see Hammerstone working with Corbin. I could see Hammerstone beating the fuck out of Braun Breaker.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
And, oh my God, I have to check something. I just remembered. Hold on. Richard Holiday yesterday said he was making an announcement today around this time.
I don't know how to type.
I'm on his Twitter. Hold on. Tonight, 6 p.m. breaking. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. this will release. I'm just seeing. It looks like an interview.
Bunch of still shots from something.
Yeah, it's still shots from an interview, and I'm not sure who that is interviewing him. I mean, it looks professionally done. I'm really hoping that Holiday is going somewhere good.
Well, what would a week in wrestling be without talking about crime?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So within the same weekend, we had Nick Hogan and Buff Bagwell both get DUIs.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Hogan's going to Nick Hogan. Nothing surprises me at that point.
Yeah.
Buff, however, did come out since then and say that somehow how he's still clean and sober despite the DUI. So I don't fucking remember what he said.
I could care less about Buff Bagwell. Worked with him all of one time, and that was enough.
Let me see where it is. I should make sure I don't misquote. Johnny Gargano is a fan, by the way, of Logan Paul. That's good.
Cool.
Says he may do jail time because of his temper, but he's still clean and sober.
Okay. How are you clean and sober if you got a DUI? I just got my 1 hour chip. Like, bro.
Because he's clean, his temper has gotten out of control, and he's had a couple of setbacks during the DUI program because of his temper.
So wait, so he got
He
a
added that
DUI
when
and
he-
made him get sober, and now he needs anger management because he's sober?
Because apparently there was a rumor that came out that he had relapsed in the midst of all of this, but then Backwell said he did not relapse and is still clean and sober.
He just has anger issues.
Sure, I guess.
I don't buy anything Buff Bagwell says.
All I know is that DDP helped him put out a professionally produced video statement about it.
Go move into Paige's house, and Paige will tell you to knock off all the bullshit. That's what Paige does.
There was one more thing I saw that I wanted to ask about quick.
Oh, did you see you see Becky taking shots at Tony Khan?
In passing, I didn't read it.
So there's the old tweet of Tony talking about independent studies showing the anti-AEW people are bots.
Yes.
So Becky aped that, saying independent concern, much of the staunch anti-Becky or in arena booers aren't real individuals. It's a staff running thousands of AI, an army of bots. But here's what's super funny about it. Because while that came out, this little screenshot has been making its rounds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Tony got caught. Because that's bots. And people also say, you notice that they say the AEW on TV page, you notice on Facebook, never has any negative comments on it.
I wonder why.
Yep, but literally just the same bot over and over again. And I love how Luna Patel is a white blonde-haired woman.
Yes. All right. I have a question
Yes,
to leave the show with.
Yes,
because we mentioned this gentleman not a little bit ago when we were going over past Survivor Series moments. And he had recently been interviewed and commented on this. So I want your opinion. Is it time for bygones to be bygones and have Lex Luger put in the Hall of Fame?
No.
Okay. Nice and easy. That's all I needed.
He killed Miss Elizabeth. He doesn't deserve it.
What about Liz?
Yes.
Okay. My opinion, they should just put her in with Randy, but
Yes, they should have.
The fuck do I know?
Right.
All right. Just thought we'd touch on that for a quick 2 seconds. I knew that was going to be your answer, but I figured I'd ask it anyways because I know there's been Lex Luger figures coming out in the WWE series that came out recently. And Lex was on, I think he was on the bump actually last week. He was asked about it. And he said it would be a high honor. If it wasn't on the bump, I wouldn't have even fucking thought about it, honestly.
Listen,
but because it was on the bump.
I'm severely thinking about going to Philly for just the Hall of Fame and Stand and Deliver. If Lex Luger is put into the Hall of Fame while I'm there, I'm walking out.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't blame you. All right. Yeah. If you're done, I'm done.
Yeah.
All right. So thanks for tuning in to part B of episode 103 of White Heat. Don't forget, again, SmackDown this Friday night, FS1, not Fox. FS1, not Fox. Why? I don't fucking know. I'm guessing college football because there's a lot of it on Friday because it's rivalry week and they spread everything out on Thanksgiving weekend. It's fucking weird, but whatever. FS1, not Fox or SmackDown this week. Obviously, we'll cover that. We'll cover SmackDown. We'll cover all the shenanigans of fucking AEW from this week. On our next show. Continental Classic debut night. Fuck me. Whatever. Yeah, just whatever. Follow us on the tweets. I'm at Brian Katie. He's at JJ_Alexander. Like, subscribe, comment.
Hit
all
the
that
bell for
jazz.
notifications.
Yeah, so you know whenever new episodes are uploaded. That being said, JJ,
Yeah.
say fuck Billy Corgan.
Fuck Billy Corgan.
This is a SmackDown production.
Some nights I stay